Hey guys, I am live and I have a photo up of me because I'm having some eye work done and I don't feel like being on camera, but I'm here and I will talk to you about this great race. This is Bristol. I had lunch with Dad this week, and if you don't know, my dad is Vic Kangas. He is a veteran crew chief in racing since 1957 when he bought his first car at the age of 14. So what I am broadcasting today is a race we talked about at lunch, and it was Bristol 1995, and the team he was working with, he had left Moroso and he was helping out Gary Bechtel. Gary Bechtel is the car owner of Steve Grissom. So this race here, my dad was working with Steve. So let's go racing. I'm here in the chat and I can be more interactive with y'all this way. I'm closer to my chat where I'm not on camera today just because my eyes are a little puffy. So let's go racing. Let's go to Bristol.
It is a beautiful night here in the mountains.
Busch Grand National, the second race of the 95 season.
And a great crowd on hand.
Grissom wins the first one as well, so it's a good car.
Of course, what a great night for Busch Grand National Series racing action. We told you the series is getting tighter and tighter, but one thing is changing a little bit. We've had a change atop the point standings the last couple of weeks. Hey, but it didn't happen last week in Michigan because Chad Little, who had been trying to win a championship, had problems up there. As you look at our point standings and take a look at the top five, Chad Little falling back somewhat now behind Johnny Benson, Mike McLaughlin, Jason Keller, and Jeff Green in the top five. 6 through 10, Larry Pearson, Tim Fedewa, Elton Sawyer, Bobby Dotter, and Phil Parsons. Once again, we're glad to have you here. What we call Thunder Valley. It's a great night for racing. 2 nights in a row. Busch Grand National Series action tonight and Winston Cup racing action coming your way tomorrow night, the 35th annual Goodies 500. Now, we know that coming to Bristol, you got to have certain things to be successful here on the high banks, and one of them is patience. You got to be very patient. You can't push the issue here on the high banks or they'll bite you. The concrete hits pretty hard. Got to be patient if you want to win or have a shot at a championship.
Jerry, you're exactly right, and I'm with a driver, a young driver on the Busch Series who really illustrates patience. Of course, I'm talking about the points leader, Johnny Benson Jr. This is only his 4th trip here to the high banks of Bristol, but in 3 previous visits, already 2 top 10 finishes, including 6 back in April. Johnny, as fast as things happen here, how in the world can you be patient?
I'll tell you what, it's pretty tough here at Bristol International, but we're just going to do what we can. We'll just do what the guys in front of us would do, go as fast as we can for as long as we can.
They have to be patiently aggressive, Jerry.
And last year's Rookie of the Year, Johnny Benson, is certainly building experience here at Bristol, Tennessee. Experience. Well, you got to not only when to pass, but how to pass. And in a 250-lap sprint race, it's critical to know when to pit.
And it worked for Larry Pearson in back-to-back years, 87 and 88, a first-place finish. Larry, you have a young crew chief. Your experience very valuable here tonight. How do you get to the front?
Well, starting back here in 19th, we're going to need a very strong front bumper, to be honest with you. But no, Bristol's a place where you really have to take your time, and you have to be aggressive to get around the place. But you really don't want to be over-aggressive because you can get yourself in trouble real quick.
Well, now Larry Pearson, he looks pretty fresh, but there's a handful of drivers that may have problems. The fatigue factor could become a certain possibility tonight because these drivers came early today and have been practicing both Winston Cup and Busch Grand National Series cars, and they have yet to take a beating here as 250 laps are straight ahead.
Well, I'm here with Mike Wallace. He got to the racetrack this morning at 8:30. He's been running a Busch car, his Duran Paints car. He's run his Winston Cup car, his Heilig Myers car. He's practiced both of them. He's been back from the back stretch to the front stretch, back stretch to the front stretch. He's qualified both cars, and now you got to run a 250-lap race. Is fatigue going to be a factor for you today?
Well, Kyle, I hope not. You know, these guys pay me to be tough, so we work out a little bit during the week, and it's been a tough day. You know, they haven't had any breaks in between either practice. You go straight out of the Cup car to the Busch car, but I think we'll be fine this evening. You know, it should be a little cooler. Got a helmet cooler in here tonight to help us out a little bit, and we're looking to win this thing this evening.
Well, I tell you what, guys, I've watched him go back and forth from the front stretch to the back stretch enough. 250 laps, I'm fatigued just watching him.
Hey, folks, if you've never watched a race at Bristol, tonight you're going to see beaten and banging. They've talked about that already. We're going to see cars crashed into one. We're going to see crashes, caution flags, great driving, sorry driving. And why, Ned?
Well, because they go so fast on this racetrack that they don't have time to react. If something happens in front of them, bang, you're right into it before you know it. But one thing about it, there's always plenty of action here at Bristol.
And as the field gets set to start, 36 strong. Now, before we start the beating and banging, we got a little question to ask here. Now, Mike Mooney, the PR director for this French's team, is sitting back in his apartment in Charlotte, North Carolina, with Krista. And Krista, he has a question to ask you. Krista, will you marry me? Well, not marry me. Actually, will you marry Mike Mooney? And we're going to call you in a moment and see what your answer is. We want to show that now because of the beating and banging starts. That bumper may not be there. Back at the high banks.
I wonder if that's our iRacing Michael Moody.
Our speed road coverage of the Food City 250 is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. By Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. Let's take a look at our Suzuki starting grids. 36 strong, and the first pole ever for this youngster, 27 years of age, Stevie Reeves, 122.56 miles per hour. The Ed Whitaker Chevrolet. He will lead the charge.
And you know, Jerry, I think that Stevie Reeves running the midgets and sprint cars up in Indiana, at Winchester and Salem, Indiana, racetracks that are banked similar to Bristol. That might be one reason he's on the pole tonight.
16 different pole winner thus far in 20 events here in 1995. You see some of the drivers starting back toward the back of the pack, but we told you early, experience is key. Hey, Steve Grissom starts back in 28th. He started 17th here in April and won the Busch Series event.
And here's 31 through 36. Dennis Setzer in the 18 car, the UniFirst car. That's his first ride in that automobile.
And good to see Robbie Reiser back. His first start since Talladega, that wild crash head on into the wall there after having a good run in the top 10 in the late laps. Had a broken kneecap and a severe concussion. Ned, the track description here, Bristol International Raceway.
Well, it's a .533 mile oval, front stretch 650 feet, same as the back stretch, and the banking in the corners is 36 degrees and 16 degrees on the straightaway.
Race analysis here. We told you 250 laps of pole speed, 122.5, race record 92.929 miles per hour, pit window 130 to 140 laps. That's because the tires may go away, and the purse, a good one here for Larry Carrier and company, $258,431. Got a couple of in-cars, Benny Parsons.
There's Jimmy Spencer, the Finalube Ford, as he looks at the Food City car direct in front of him.
There's Jimmy, and he starts back in 16th spot. And
My ex-husband was the tar carrier on Jimmy Spencer's team and the transporter driver this season. And Dad had left that team, which that's racing. You know, my ex stayed there, no biggie. And Dad went on to help other teams. Steve Grissom, I believe, at this race is what we talked about at lunch yesterday.
Mark Day driving for brother Wayne Day, and Joey McCarthy from Flemington, New Jersey, the NASCAR modified driver.
And the signal from NASCAR starter, 1 lap to go, and all these cars will go charging down in turn 1, fighting, beating, and banging for positions.
Take a look at the manufacturers' battle, the wins, poles, and points. You see Ford, 10 wins, 6 poles, currently lead the point standing. Chevy with 9 wins and 10 poles, and Pontiac, no wins yet and 2 poles. It's basically a 2-car battle, Ford and Chevy, at the Manufacturers' Championship.
We're about ready to go racing. And folks, it's about to get exciting.
Glad to have you here at Thunder Valley. John Kernan, Bill Weber, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, here's truly Jerry Punch. We're going to be back here tomorrow with exciting racing action, live action, the Goodies 500, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Glad to have you with us at Bristol International Raceway. And the green flag is waving.
Green is out at Bristol. It's a Busch Grand National race, 1995. It's the second race of the season. Dad's helping Steve Grissom, and my ex-husband is helping the Finalube car with Jimmy Spencer. He's the front tire carrier and that car right there. Pretty logo. Anyway, yeah, he was a front tire carrier, transporter driver. I went to Bristol numerous times, but not totally clear if I was here at this track. The only way I'd know for sure is if I saw me in the pits or something. I wasn't working at the track. I would have been there for fun.
Bobby Daughter passed him, and Buckshot caught up on the outside.
Stevie Reeves still leading the race. That's he in the 7 car. The 44, Dave Reeves is second, and Johnny Benson is third. That's Benson in the red and yellow number 74, followed by Chad Little in the red and yellow 23.
That's the front two in points. Benson and Little, who are running third and fourth. They are first and second.
I usually have my live camera on. I might go live
trying to break that miserable streak of
with my camera on a little later.
Luck at all. Indianapolis Raceway Park, and
I had some eye work, froze off, and my eyes are a little bit puffy and swollen, and I'm vain. So we'll see how it goes.
He wanted to look on the inside of Reed, but there was not room. Here comes Green down on the inside. No, he couldn't quite do it.
These the first laps that Stevie Reeves has led all year here in 1995. Now driving for Ed Whitaker, who shot just not far from this racetrack. That's the same car that Harry Gant used to sit on the pole here last August. Now Gant had engine trouble and didn't make it to the halfway mark.
There we see Mike Wallace in the Duron paint car, number 90, and the 64 car, Randy LaJoy, the Duraloop car. This is a battle for 8th spot. Like LaJoy's going to look on the inside, can't make the pass.
And we mentioned that Doug Hebron had gone to the pits on the backstretch. Apparently something was gone wrong with the engine.
Watching LaJoy in the 64 car. Now, he's had a couple of pretty good runs. Finished 15th at IRP. Had a great run in Michigan. Finished third. Driving for Dennis Shoemaker. We are told that those runs have convinced his sponsor, Duraloop, to come back for 1996. So they were real excited about the prospects of next year. Dennis Shoemaker and company.
We'll show you just how far that these fellows are behind the leader. There's the leader, Stevie Reeves, the Clabber Girl baking powder car. And now the 44 car, Davey Green, seems to have his hands full with Benson in 74.
Yeah, he's been having to drive offensively and defensively there. He's trying to get around Stevie Reeves, but at the same time, he has to keep his eye on the rearview mirror because Johnny Benson is right there. It's a mistake.
Well, you got to wonder. We talked about patience, but here's the 44 car trying to be patient, but someone who isn't waiting at all is Randy LaJoy.
He worked and finally got on the inside of Mike Wallace.
There's Joe Bessie in the 9 car. And that's Buckshot Jones in 00. And the 34 car of Mike McLaughlin. A little bit of contact, and Mike almost brushed the wall there.
And Buckshot giving him a little nudge from behind. That's Joe Bessie. By the way, you did see Joe Bessie win up in Watkins Glen on Busch Grand National North competition just a few weeks ago on ESPN.
26th and 27th that they're battling for.
Battle you were watching a moment ago, Benny Parsons, is Kenny Wallace in the 8 car, but now he's getting a little heat from behind.
Jason Keller in 57, the Budget Gourmet, and there's the in-car camera from the Food City Chevrolet on Jeff Green. And wow, what a mess going in turn 3.
Yeah, we almost had a race. Chad Little is holding up Kenny Wallace because the front 3 cars, just a few laps ago, they were 6 or 7 cars running together, but now the front 3 cars have driven away from Chad Little. We understand that maybe he's complaining about the car being a little bit loose.
Remember, these cars qualified earlier today, and it was quite a bit warmer. The racetrack has since had Winston Cup qualifying. And so a lot of laps on this racetrack since these cars have been out. Back up front, challenge for second spot. Can't do it, BP.
Man, I can't believe Benson would even try that this early in the race.
On the outside. Isn't he the one we talked about being patient?
Yeah, right. Trying to win a championship. Yeah. Soft start from Johnny Benson.
Wow, who did we talk to down there? Must be a different guy in that 74 car.
Put the helmet on, he becomes Dr. Jekyll. He is our point leader. Watch this. Hey, she said yes down in Charlotte. He asked her to marry her, and he said yes. Congratulations to the folks down in Charlotte and the McLaughlin team. Back in a moment. Back at Bristol International Raceway, still in the early laps, and our pole sitter continues to lead, but maybe not for long. We have had a change of position for second spot.
And then Johnny Benson was able to pull that pass off on the outside. Now he's trying to do this on the inside.
Well, he had to have a lot of confidence, first of all, in David Green to go up on the outside of him and make a pass.
And another battle that happened a moment ago while we were in break. Take a look at this. Kenny Wallace says, hi there, Harris Teeter's Ford Thunderbird of Chad Little. Chad's been having a problem with a loose race car. It didn't help it much.
And here we see they get together just a little bit going down in one, and Chad goes up the racetrack and lost about 4 spots in that deal. And watch as they come off the corner and those rubbed tires between the 57 and 23.
Part of what you said up front's coming true there. The beating in the banging part, Benny.
And we are told that Chad may have a tire going down. That certainly didn't help it a lot right there.
That certainly doesn't help the situation.
Stevie Reeves driving the Clamor Girl machine and Whitaker on race car. On the pole is led since the drop of the green flag.
And we see Chad Little back behind. No, that's the 64 car of LaJoy. I'm sorry, I thought that was.
Here's our field summer. Take a look at where your favorite driver. Now, once again, in parentheses, where that car started. So Kenny Wallace starting back in 7th. Some of the cars that have made a move. Car number 25, the Mick Johnson Chevy, slowing down. Johnny Rumley, Don Beverly owned car.
The 40 car is Patty Moise. And we see there Johnny Rumley down on the apron of the racetrack, so obviously has some type of problem he considers terminal as he's going towards the pits. There's our leader going by Patty Moise. Stevie Reeves in the 7, 74. Benson, that's a Lipton T car. And David Green.
Whoa, trouble in turn 2. Jeff Fuller has spun and is headed backward toward oncoming traffic in the Sunoco 260 Chevy.
Jeff Fuller was the rookie contender for this year. I believe he does win Rookie of the Year, and Dad will work for that team more full-time in 96. We're reviewing 95 right now, but Jeff Fuller has been a lifelong friend of our family. We first met him. I was 12 years old. He was 14, and he was at our kitchen table
coming off the corner
talking about building a car with this guy Bob Smith,
right at you.
And Jeff ended up driving it some or
Not to hit the wall.
Now let's take a look from the inside.
several drivers. Maybe the Bouchards, Kenny might have drove it a little, but that's where we met Jeff when he was 14, and Dad has worked with him throughout his career, whether it be on the phone for advice or at the track.
They get 2 sets of tires under caution for the whole race. So and that's if you slide one or you flat spot a tire, even cut one. That's all you get. So 8 total tires. And Bill Weber, what happened down there?
Well, as you can probably see, Jimmy Spencer got into the rear of Jeff Fuller. He called his crew right away, said, tell him I'm sorry, tell his spotter I didn't mean to do it. I sure am sorry. So Jimmy Spencer apologizing for helping bring out the first caution. He's got a good run going back here, too.
And so now the mystery is solved. Jimmy Spencer gave Jeff Fuller a bit of a tap, and you saw what happened. Under caution for the first time at Bristol International Raceway. We'll be back. Back at Bristol International Raceway, under caution for the first time today due to a spin by Jeff Fuller with an assist from Jimmy Spencer. But under the caution, here is the car 23 just barely getting back out after a pit stop. In fact, he made 2 pit stops and just got out before he lost a lap as the green waves once again. And Stevie Reeves trying to improve on a best finish of 6th at Richmond. His only top 10 here in 1995, and he is showing the way here at Bristol.
Here is back on the inside of the 64 car. When they get together and he just drives right on by when he slides up the track. That's one way to do it, I guess.
And LaJoy did a tremendous job of hanging on that car in the corner. Lost a couple of spots. Terry Lamont.
Oh, that time some contact and in the wall.
Now
Some more cars
pile in it. Oh my goodness, the track is nearly completely.
Oh my gosh, I see Steve got through, Grissom got through.
Robbie Reiser.
Oh, it looked like Spencer might have been involved in that one too. My ex used to say it was really exciting working for Jimmy.
Driving for Buzz McCall.
He had a lot of pit box visitors.
The racetrack looks like, and this is the result. Here's a look at it.
we see some contact between Spencer and LaJoy, and LaJoy goes up, smacks the wall, and as he comes down, watch these other cars become involved.
Spencer is taking out all our modified guys. What is he doing?
Just closes up in front of you.
He was our team,
In the
too,
green car,
right?
that's a strange color to you fans.
You so want to
The
be
green 43 was Rodney Combs.
the team that has
Barrier number-
Jimmy for a driver, to be honest. Because he got every inch out of
was
the
one of
car,
first cars
but
to go out. As you see, he had Barrier climb out of his car. Okay, I think Johnny.
if people lifted in front of him, they
Well, Johnny, you
got
started pretty
punted.
back in the pack a little bit, but you were making some progress. But it's been a short night so far to a long day.
Yeah, it really has. Big Johnson Chevrolet dropped a valve, and that's very unusual for a Holmes and Eames motor, but had a good run following a 14 car Terry, and he's as good as anybody to follow around here, and that's what we was looking for. You know, trying to get a little experience. The guys worked real hard, qualified 13th, probably had a top 10, top 5 car, who knows. And biggest thing, I was starting to have a little bit of fun. So right now we got a gorilla on our back. Hopefully we'll get him off, and when we do, we're going to run good. I hope to run up front, maybe win a race 40 years over, like say hi to Carolyn and the kids. And, we'll be home shortly.
Well, I tell you what, Johnny Rumley's tough wherever he goes. One thing, they might have broke a motor, but they didn't get in that big wreck, and they got a car to go to the next race. A lot of people can't say that, guys.
Got to feel lucky when you walk away from Bristol with a complete race car. Now here again is what happened to start this thing. You see Rockin' Rodney Combs coming down the 43 car. It's a snapper colors. Now take a look again at what happened.
This is from the
Rodney Combs is Dylan Wilson's kin.
Red Dog car and LaJoy as they go in turn 3. There's that contact between Wallace and LaJoy. Now, LaJoy saved it that time. He goes up the hill, and he's going to lose 3 or 4 spots.
When I say Rodney Combs, Dylan Wilson, that's all the local boys that grew up around Wilkesboro.
He comes off the wall. Now the cars start trying to dodge him. There we see Hermie Sadler, and there the 43. He gets hit by the 95, and also the 95 hit the back of the 64 as Elton Sawyer goes through there, and there's the end of it.
Well, that's what's left of the Caterpillar Chevrolet.
Dad was a bit of a suitcase Jake between 95 and 96. He's helping Steve Grissom this week at this race. Up top, you can see him up high there in the 29 in the light blue car. And my ex actually was working for Jimmy Spencer's team, the transporter driver and tire carrier. That Fina car there. The one that dumped my buddy Jeff. And he said, I'm sorry, didn't mean to get into
the
him.
previous one, so Jimmy Spencer may wear that radio button out as he's already called and apologized for the contact with Jeff Fuller. Barrier, LaJoy, Markham, Combs, and Bound, the cars that we have listed as being the most heavily damaged 5 vehicles in the second caution flag of the night.
Yeah, there were about 6 or 8 other cars that were involved.
If you're wondering why I'm not live on camera, I
Go
had
down to Bill Weber.
to freeze a couple little spots off my eyelids. My eyes a little bit swollen and
Spun up here,
yucky.
coming off too there, and I seen it. You know, trying to get slowed down. And
So that's got just my picture right now for a little bit.
everything else. They pushed me right into it and wasn't nothing I could do, you know. I hate it for Caterpillar and,
Just for today.
you know, all the folks, guys that worked on the car. The car was coming around, you know, would have been all right later on.
Been a typical Bristol so far, though. A lot of wild action. You had to expect that coming in.
Yeah, you know, the cars are so competitive, it's hard to pass here, and sometimes some guys take a chance, you know. It's a little bit early in the race to be doing that, but it's a competitive race. It ought to be exciting night.
And 46 of 250 laps are complete. Good crowd on hand, enjoying a lot of thunder here at Thunder Valley in the early laps. 2 caution flags, hey, in the first 50 laps, but Stevie Reeves hangs on up front. Back in a moment.
Race fans are the best, aren't they? They're so loyal.
Of 250, and Stevie Reeves just takes the clapper, ending and beginning to pull away. Johnny Grissom about a car length back, and what a gaggle back behind him. 3rd, 4th, 5th. And here's Rick Wilson, former winner here, is smoke puffing from that all-sport Ford Thunderbird with Charlie Henderson on car. Mark Carrier and crew. We'll go look under that car. Chris Carrier, we should say, the crew chief there, raises the hood.
And then we can see how far Benson is driven away from Stevie Reeves in these 5 or 6 laps.
Had a feeling that's what would happen if he ever got in front of him, because as John Kern pointed out, he had a faster car. Here comes Kenny Wallace. Boy, he's looking all over the place trying to get around.
That's the Food City bumper cam for Jeff Green, the Teresa Earnhardt-owned car. Over at Chevy.
Talked to Don Hogg down in the pits just a few minutes ago, the president of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, and he said that Earnhardt might field the Winston Cup car next year for Jeff Green and Ron Hornaday to run, 2 or 3 races each. Teresa and Dale would have a Winston Cup car. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That'd be something.
Well, Earnhardt racing against his own car.
Kenny Wallace is working that steering wheel.
Yeah, I think this is another case where Kenny has a faster car than Jeff has right now, but he just can't find a way to get around it. He's working on it, though.
Well, he is working on him.
That red dog is sniffing out every area there.
He smells food at Food City up there in front of him with Jeff Green.
Well, you see the damage to Rodney Combs' car. The front of his car is completely gone after the crash.
Leaders getting into heavy traffic, 180 laps to go. As now Wallace will look to the inside. No, a little bit of a bump.
Oh, a little bit of a bump. Yes, he did.
And behind him, Larry Pearson tries to miss him, gets a little bit of a bump. As the caution will come out for the 3rd time, Pearson slides. Patty Moise gives Pearson a tag. And here is Phil Parsons now trying to go by, but you see you're running along with Jeff Green. And he will save losing a lap. But they will bring out the caution flag for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, just a little bit of a touch from the 8 car, Kenny Wallace.
Lap 72, caution comes out. Here's a look at what happened again, this contact.
All it takes is just a little bit of a tap in the left rear. Jeff almost saved it. Almost saved it, but he couldn't quite make it.
Now from the in-car camera, watch Larry Pearson's car just get by above him. Watch from the in-car camera.
Hey, Ned, he was driving that thing sideways, wasn't he?
He was.
Tony Uri and company now changing tires. You see the Mike McLaughlin car just above him there, the 34 car. And speaking of the 34 car, now at the top of the show, we showed you a sign on the back of that car, number 34, from Mike Mooney, their PR director for French's, who was sitting back in his apartment in Charlotte, Benny, with his girlfriend, Krista.
And Mike, what did Krista say? It said, "Krista, will you marry me?" And Mike Mooney, what'd she say?
Penny, it was a overwhelming yes.
It was. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I'll tell you, I think I was a little more nervous than some of the drivers out there tonight getting ready for this.
Was she surprised?
Very much so.
Well, Mike, watch the race and then celebrate.
I think I will. Hopefully McLaughlin can steer clear of some of that traffic I've been hearing about, and we can bring him up front.
Hey, we'll see you down in Darlington. Congratulations again from all of us at ESPN.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Under caution for the 3rd time today, lap 73 of 250. Johnny Benson, our point leader, is also our race leader at Bristol, Tennessee. Well, we went green a lap and a half ago, and we're caution again. Here's what happened in the back straightaway. The car number 92, you see the caution flag waving. And Kyle Petty, when the restart occurred, the 8 car didn't come up to speed again.
I don't know what happened to him on the restart as far as not coming up to speed. The NASCAR official was in some serious conversation with their crew chief down here. That's 2 accidents, the 64 and the 3, that he was either in the wrong place at the wrong time or putting the bumper to the wrong person at the wrong time. They've given him a warning. They reviewed the tapes. They said, okay, the 3 and the deal with the 3 car might have been both of them's fault, but now he's got in his own little trouble here. So, hey, what goes around comes around sometimes.
Wow, look at the damage to the rear of that car, Ned.
Yeah, a lot of damage done there. As you can see, the tire is rubbing against the fender, so a lot of, and I think what happened here, his car was not up to speed, and Larry Pearson came up behind him and tapped him. Larry got tapped, I believe, from behind as well, and so around they went down to the inside retaining wall.
Something happened to the 8 car to Kenny Wallace as he came off the corner. It's like the car just quit running.
He was trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
But Larry was
I'll be on the camera shortly, guys. We're going to figure this out.
situation behind.
And there's Larry Pearson, and he was the victim there. He had started back in 19th spot, and he was up in 8th position in less than 70 laps. And Larry, the only multi-winner here in the field tonight. Now, Kenny Wallace is standing by with John Kernan.
Just climbing out of the car, a lot of smoke coming out there. Kenny, obviously the frame's bent. What happened to you?
Well, what happened is something wrong with the carburetor, and on the restarts it would miss real bad. And I stayed on the bottom down the straightaways, and it wouldn't clear out. They just got into me, you know. Bad deal.
Yeah, very bad deal. You're obviously not going to get this car back out there tonight, are you?
No, we're not running for points. We only run about 14 races a year, but man, it was aggravating. The car was so good, but something wrong with the carburetor on the restarts. Just, it wouldn't go. So, night's over.
Oh, well, that's racing is what they say. Look at this. As you can see, the line all the way back from the front tire back to here, and it's pushed out at least, what, about 3 inches? Look at that. Oh, man, that's some, he hit with some force, didn't he?
He did that. Yeah.
He said he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't running for points, but unfortunately Larry Pearson was, guys, and he was in 6th spot in the point standings. And there is the Stanley Tool driver, Larry Pearson. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And Larry Pearson has just walked back here to the garage. Larry, I know you're disappointed. What happened out there?
Kenny Wallace had a lot of problems out there, and he was Terry checked up, and somebody got into me, and I bumped into him, and I guess he felt like I hit him, you know, on purpose and knocked him up the racetrack, and he's got me back here. It's just, you know, we're out here running for points, and Winston Cup guys over out here just for the hell of it. It's always something stupid like that.
Larry Pearson not very happy, 6th in points, and wanted some more tonight. Not going to happen at Bristol.
And he had come all the way from 18th spot to 8th position and was making a run for his 3rd victory at Bristol. Not going to happen. We'll be back in a moment. Back at Bristol International Raceway just in time. Remember, in Busch racing, the lead lap cars restart on the inside as opposed to the outside as they do in Winston Cup. Johnny Benson running side by side with Jimmy Spencer, who lost a couple laps in the of an overheating problem. Spencer 2 laps down, but he's 2nd on the track behind Benson.
And he was trying his best to get one of those laps back, but it did not work.
Benson is so fast here tonight. Once he got out front, it's been hard for anyone to keep up with.
Ever see Johnny Benson directly in front of our FINA in-car camera, on-board camera, I should say.
And they rubbed and swapped some sheet metal.
Little rub between Jeff Green and Joe Bessie, the Bell South sponsorship on Joe Bessie's car.
Now Joe's a lap down. He's being shown in the 23rd position.
And here's the leader, Johnny Benson. That's how close he gets to that mess in front of him. Well, he is pulling away big time.
Yes, he is. There's no one even close behind Johnny Benson. As a matter of fact, he's got pretty...
I'll be live in just a little bit, guys. I've got my studio coming together. Just a minute.
The Slim Jim. Well, let's see.
Slim Jim car is right now in 3rd place. And he's about a half corner behind, a half straightaway behind Stevie Reeves.
Yeah. Okay. They got scattered out pretty good. They were running together there not long ago. But...
Now there is our defending national champion, David Green, Slim Jim Chevrolet, back in 3rd position. Started 2nd, currently being shown in 3rd spot. And how about that car? It was running better, but now it's sort of settled into a position. John Kernan, how about it?
Well, Jerry, you notice he's dropped back. He's losing distance to Stevie Reeves. That's because the car has gotten very loose. In fact, most of the guys down here on pit road are complaining of a loose condition, which we figured would happen with the tires wearing out. The only guy not complaining about a loose car, Johnny Benson Jr. He says his car is getting a little bit tighter.
Oh, we got a spin down the front straightaway. And Mike McLaughlin, you're right. We needed to show that thing in front because the tail time that said, Krista, will you marry me, had just been knocked off.
It's a good thing you got an answer early.
Yeah.
Mike McLaughlin's French's Chevrolet, heavy impact. His car spins, gets tagged from behind and from the side. Dennis Setzer also involved in the uniform machine. Boy, heavy damage on that car.
Here's Buckshot Jones in a 00. And as they come off turn 4, Buckshot tries to get under. See, Mike goes up the racetrack a little bit, and Buckshot tries to take advantage, but Mike closes the hole, contact, and around he goes, and he goes up. Not too much damage right there, but as he comes off, boom.
Elton Sawyer right there. Kaboom. But Elton had nowhere to go.
And we see the crash going on behind them between Dennis Setzer and
Joe Bessie's involved, the 9 car.
It looks like, is that Tommy Houston? And all the cars right now, the leaders are on pit road.
Caution flag again for the 5th time. A little bit different angle.
As we said, pit stops are going on, and there all the cars are in the pits. There we see David Green, Chad Little, and here comes Mike Wallace down pit road.
I wonder if he just changed 2 tires maybe, or he made a good pit stop, whatever it was. And you can see they're changing 4 tires on Vincent's
And the
car.
74 car is still sitting there. I'm sorry, that was the 44 still sitting there.
And the back pits action getting there is Buckshot Jones in the back pits. Tracy Leslie in the car number 72, Detroit Gasket car. Hermie Sadler leaving. Steve Grissom, Kevin LePage in the car number 71. So we'll sort it out after the pit stops, and caution being shown for the 5th time tonight here at Bristol International Raceway. A wild scramble here. We'll be back in a moment. Fram filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. Buy smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. And by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And thank you very much. We love you too. Thanks for coming out and enjoying exciting short track action under caution for the 5th time, and here's why.
Well, the 34 car of Mike McLaughlin went up a little bit, and as Benny said, he came back down. Buckshot Jones thought he had a run on him. They touch, coming off of the 4th turn down the front straightaway, and of course McLaughlin spins around. Here comes Elton Sawyer, and then behind him a lot of other cars got involved as well.
Well, we had pit stops. Let's check in and see exactly what all happened down there, John Kernan.
Well, in Johnny Benson's case, they took on 4 tires, no chassis adjustment, but let me show you something. This is the catch can, the overflow. And remember last week in Michigan, showed you Ricky Rudd's, the probe wasn't long enough to open it up, which meant the gas couldn't flow into the fuel cell. Well, look at this. The probe actually broke off. Let me turn it around here. You can see where the probe pushed through. Steve Bird says he thinks that they got it.
Hey, Pops. Good morning. Hi. I'm still setting stuff up. I wasn't going to go live till I had it, but I was like, screw that. I see Pops. I say hi.
He had a horrendous pit stop.
I'm vain today.
They had some trouble with the right rear.
So vain.
Trouble with the left rear. While all this was going on and he was having such a terrible pit stop, the 90 car changed 2 tires. Really, really smart move. It's been so hard to pass on this racetrack. We've seen it all night. Track position is crucial.
My eyes are awful today. But I decided to put the camera on anyway. I just gotta see y'all. Now I can see y'all. But I have it very dark.
Be able to win this thing, a repeat similar to what we saw with Bobby Labonte last week in the Winston Cup Series. But
how are you today?
This is Hermie Sadler's pit. Hermie is very
lurking. Thank you for the lurk.
Johnny Rumley, who is
bless your heart, and thank you for everything, honestly.
Him in the car. Here's a problem. Hermie's not very tall. Johnny Rumley is
I hope you and your wife have a wonderful session and
around back here.
Devotion time.
Also, maybe you could get in there. You got on the driving suit there.
I'll tell you, Ned, this is the perfect view right behind this wall where I can see them all go by. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, like in the military, you don't want to volunteer at Bristol International Raceway. This place can bite you in a hurry. Still working caution for the...
We are watching Bristol. Dad is working with Steve Grissom. My husband at the time is working with the Phenolube Lance Crackers, Jimmy Spencer ride, number 20, for Dick Moroso. My dad is working with Grissom's car under Gary Bechtel. So at this point in time in 95, other than randomly, scoring something or getting asked to do something or help out or volunteer at a museum. That's mainly what I did in 95. 96, I actually was at the track much more often. I remember driving to most of the time. The truck drivers, the transporter drivers would leave a day early. Could be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on how close the track is. And I still had to finish out a work week in real life. So sometimes I would drive to the track and drive home, or other times I would get a ride to the track, whether it be in a car, in a van, or on a plane, and drive home with the transporter. So basically, that was a really fun life, but it was really busy. I mean, I did it straight 2 years, bam, 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 almost every week. Plus working full-time, 55 hours in a salary job. I was management in a foam factory, polyurethane foam. And so I was juggling many lives at the same time. I was a mom of a 15-year-old boy in Mooresville.
And got tagged from behind.
Which is my son. Most of you know him from the sim.
Yeah, that's Old Faithful. That's the
or buckshot.
For the red eater.
Or is it buckshot?
It's running a little bit warm.
I didn't have my headphones on there.
Waiting for a driver change in the backstretch. Hermie Sadler, we are told, is ill.
Uh-oh.
Well, and they have
oh, yeah, he had strep throat the week before.
And Bill Weber, what's the status? Is Hermie going to get
Remember when strep throat was the biggest deal we had to worry about in life? Gosh, since then we've had that H1N1, the swine flu. Brett Bodine's actual lifetime crew chief died of the swine flu. He went home for Thanksgiving and didn't come home, or went home, depending on how you view that.
Two right side tires, and he's going to head back out. He has told his crew that he has a good car, not as good as the leader.
My mouse.
Here comes Hermie Sadler. They are going to make the change. Johnny Rumley standing by as Hermie Sadler brings the DeWalt Chevrolet Monte Carlo down pit road. He is going to climb out. The window net is already down. They climb into the car. The wheel is off. Johnny Rumley is standing by. Hermie Sadler pulled out of the car. Johnny Rumley climbs in quickly. Hermie sits down on the wall, appears to be okay right now, taking off his gloves. Rumley is in. They put the wheel back on, go buckling back in the car, and then they'll send it back out. Now, this is Hermie Sadler's parents' 32nd wedding anniversary today. He wanted to give them a real good present, guys, but this isn't what he had hoped for today. He's calmly sitting on the wall, and now he'll take over that role as car owner, and Johnny Rumley will handle the driving duties on the DeWalt Chevrolet.
And if you're wondering why they're so concerned about the difference in size and stature of those drivers, those seats fit like a glove, and you want to fit tightly and well here at Bristol International Raceway, or you'll get worn out in a hurry. Sadler out, and we're under caution. We'll be back in just a moment.
One of the injuries that drivers, wow, Grissom's already up to 8th. Like I said, Dad's working with him. My ex is working with this Fina car, doing tire carrying. Uh-oh, you're going to see him.
And then off the racetrack, there was heavy contact as Jimmy Spencer was trying to get his lap back in the Fina Lance Ford Thunderbird. Chad Little was the leader, but here's what happened. We'll show you it all.
That's Spencer in the blue 20. He goes in, he takes over the spot, no problem. But here comes Jeff Green and trying to take the lead in the Goodwrench Chevrolet. Makes contact with Chad Little. Around goes Chad. He goes on. Now watch the 44. David Green is going to get hit by the 57. He spins out, and I don't know how many other cars hit this deal.
A little different angle. We might have alluded to the fact that it was Spencer involved. He did not get involved. He made the pass, but it was the 3 and 23 that had the activity there. Jeff Green and Chad Little.
And you see Mike Wallace comes right on by. He takes the lead. Chad, I don't think hit anything too hard up there, so he stayed.
If any of y'all haven't seen the Cars Tour, I'm not the Cars Tour, my bad, late model racing from Hickory last night, it was so good. Almost all the classes were so good last night. Great racing. And of course, my team Huffman got P3 in the first race, and they got P1, got themselves a dub in the second race. So you can follow that team on Landon Huffman on YouTube or Huffman Racing on YouTube. They did a little 1 hour pre-race live exclusive look into the goings on in the pre-race prep, and that was interesting. And then you can catch one of the crew members, RJ Williams, at RJ_W21 on YouTube, and he does various things like RJ Smoke Break. He is one of their crew members from the podcast, and he's a well-liked personality as well. So those are my in real life team I follow right now.
And obviously when Jimmy Spencer got by,
And I help by promoting them like yak in my mouth right now.
Green had a head of steam coming off the turn. As we'll see it here, just a slight tap as they hit off the turn, and around he goes.
It was good call. It looked like Chad may have checked up to keep from running into the back of Spencer going into one there.
If you like watching old races, I'm writing a book about my father's career. We met for lunch this week. These are a couple races we discussed. He was working with Steve Grissom for this race, and that's what's really cool is they do well. So
well, it's been a slugfest here in Bristol, Tennessee.
he told me about this race, and we talked a lot about 95. He had just left Moroso, but my husband stayed at Moroso, which was just normal racing stuff. I mean, you work where you can. Car with Tim Fedewa, and that will be 1998, is what my dad said this week. My dad's very last race was 2000 October, Charlotte. It was with a Chip McPherson owned car. Jeff Fuller was driving. They had just acquiesced the Cale Yarborough team, the 98. All the equipment, all the engine shop, the RVs, the transporters, the whole 9 yards. Chip McPherson and this other guy, I don't know the guy's name, but it was the financier. They raced one race. The money guy that was in the deal with Chip McPherson got killed in a plane crash, and that deal totally collapsed out. And at that point, my mom and dad moved to Florida and retired out of the sport as far as full time. But dad still builds shocks, which is a technology that he's taught my sister, he wants to teach our family. And dad is 82 and he's in good health now, but you never know, right? Did they actually redesign it? I didn't know that they changed it. But it is a Marcus Smith deal, and he's liable to try anything. I like the idea of having a Major League ball field in the middle. I think that was brilliant, and it doesn't ruin the racing surface. Bristol was never totally known for side-by-side racing. It was more your pit strategy that would win your race. Track position, doing your pit stops before everybody else, and still having enough to go the distance. Whoa.
Chad's in sixth place now.
Hey, folks, check it out. Jason Keller comes into the pits, a pit stop, but no air hoses. They're changing the tires, but see the pack on the back of the right rear tire changer? That's a tank with compressed air.
Wow.
It's running the impact wrench. The tire goes off, tire goes on, he picks up the impact wrench, and no hoses to worry about.
That was too simple.
Pretty neat deal, Ned.
That is a neat deal. That's the first time I've seen this in NASCAR racing.
I wonder if it slowed him down.
As you see this battle up front, Grissom has run down Benson. You got to believe Benson.
This is cute.
Going down, got some.
Because that's Birdie against Dad.
But Grissom is.
The way, mechanics look at it.
Well, they said that he picked up the major push. That could mean either of the front tires might be dipping down a little bit.
Saw Grissom starting back in 28th position. He started 17th back here in April.
If something automatically happens that the car doesn't handle, it's usually two things, fuel load or tires.
Yes.
Provided you didn't get wrecked or anything. A car doesn't just magically change unless something breaks.
For 225 laps. We talked about Mike Wallace being fatigued before the race was over. His left side tires are definitely fatigued, guys.
And I expect the way he had to fight that thing that he might be a little tired right now, too.
That's the battle, first and second, Benson and Grissom. We might mention that Jeff Green is third and Tim Feto fourth with Terry Labonte in fifth spot.
Weather also affects it, but that's tires, weather tires. Oh!
Keep digging.
Something's wrong with Benson, isn't it? Is the right front tire flat?
He's got a pit.
He's coming in.
Because the nose took off on him. Oh yeah, the right front's flat.
Right front may be down. You get a good camera shot of the right front tire on the Lipton T Chevy, and he heads for the pits.
Johnny Benson pulls it in. It'll be right side tires. They had thought he had a right front tire going down. So the right side's going on now. They don't have to worry about fuel, but they've already lost the lap.
Steve Bird behind with his foot on the wall there.
Bad break for the points leader. A little bit of a problem on the 13.3 seconds, and the right front tire just a little bit flat. In fact, I'm going to check it out. I'll tell you what, Jerry, it looks like, it's very, very much flat as you see the crew bouncing it up and down.
Oh, boy, that guy can't buy a break. He just, Johnny Benson has run so good in so many races and just...
Well, he only lost one lap.
Let's watch. Benson as he goes down in the corner, and when that right front tire goes flat,
Ooh.
he does a great job keeping that car out of the wall as he goes up towards the wall. Wham!
Should have had one in the bag. Had a great race car tonight. Now he found himself a lap down. Now, where is the guy chasing him in the points? There's the leader right there, Steve Grissom, the Channel Lock Chevy, being shown up front. Chad Little is back in 7th spot, as we have only 8 cars on the lead lap.
A lot of times the role of the crew chief isn't actually a title, but
Let's take a look at
Dad didn't really care about the titles. He just cared about making the car go fast, and his main thing was
You just looked at this.
setting up the car, like getting it right back to basics
Slow air leak. He was going flat.
with his preferred shock setup, spring setup.
Almost lost it going into turn one.
And he's got notes and notes and notes and notes on every track.
And this is why
I call it the Holy Grail.
long with a tire going low. You have to come in, or if you stay out, if he'd have stayed out maybe a couple more laps, it would have blown. He would have been into the wall.
Yeah, he was lucky, John, that he caught that thing as quick as he did. And because you're right, he could have been in the wall and wouldn't have had much of a finish here tonight.
There's Chad Little. He's being shown in the 5th position, and Johnny Benson now, after losing one lap, is back in the 14th spot.
And they're crediting being 1 lap down. You're right.
Here's Tim Feto. And Little knows every spot he can gain. That's points in this championship race.
The Glen might be interesting.
Events remain. This is the
Maybe.
race in a 26 race season, $7.5 million.
Kind of curious to watch. I shouldn't skip this far ahead or it'll mess with my mojo, but
Right now, this
I want to play kind of my dad's last race, which would be the 2000
Dreamer.
October Charlotte race. And that would be Cup, to be honest. That would be with the newly acquired
Checking out your
The other
Kill Yarborough team, and like I said, they had a
John, Kyle, what's going on down there?
A plane crash with the benefactor of the team, the sponsor, one of the two
On TV to get a good.
owners
They have
passed.
their officials over here looking at it. They're not too happy about this, guys.
Uh-oh.
You might have somebody in a little bit of trouble here, buddy.
Here's Chad Little taking the
I knew that wouldn't fly.
5 more points he got around.
Good old innovations.
And 3 laps to go, 44 and 6 in a battle out there. That is 6th and 7th. Those are the last 2 cars on the lead lap. And remember, Grissom is our leader. Steve Grissom in the car number 29. We're showing you battle all in the lead lap. The 44 car of David Green in 6th spot. Hey, Tommy Houston, the veteran, back in 7th in the car number 6 as they go around the Hermie Sadler car with Johnny Rumley driving in substitution for Hermie Sadler still.
That car now is in 19th position.
Jason Keller in the 57 car. We saw him make the unscheduled pit stop.
White flag. Good. Go ahead, Jerry. White flag is out. Jason Keller is 2 laps down in 16th position.
Final lap for Steve Grissom in the Channel Lock.
What is the race after New Hampshire? Maybe I'll do that. No, that was Hickory, and I did that.
Only driver ever to win back-to-back.
We didn't have anybody in it, except I was scoring it. There you go. Let me see if Dad's around. Oh, yeah, Dad's there. There's my dad.
Done it for you, man.
Let's go to Bill Weber.
And I'm here with Tommy Morgan, and you can see the crew's already heading to victory lane, but we're standing here on pit road. You're the only guy left. Congratulations.
Thank you. I give credit to the whole Diamond Ridge Motorsport team, Chevrolet, Channel Lock, the good Lord, and AC and everybody else I missed. I'm sorry.
How about that driver? He did a heck of a job. He had a couple.
Plus Steve, he is a hell of a driver. He does anything he can do with that car. It worked out perfect tonight.
And Steve Grissom wins back-to-back wins at Bristol for the Channel Lock Chevrolet.
And you heard him talking about Carolyn and talking about Carolyn Bechtel, who is the wife of the car owner, Gary Bechtel. We'll come back and talk to the winner after this. And Steve Grissom climbs out, and we'll listen. Let's go down to John Kernan. John?
Hey, Steve, I think that little cold shower there probably felt pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I tell you, I'd like to have it again, man. I tell you, my hat's off this crew. It's pretty amazing. Before we qualified after our last practice, these guys on the Channel Lock team changed 4 shocks, a couple springs, sway bar, moved some lead around, and the car was pretty awesome tonight.
Now, this was not the same car that you won with back in the spring, but it looks like you guys found out something about Bristol.
That's true. It's not the same car, but the guys put the same thing back in the car. And I tell you, our car owners were, Carolyn was here with us in the spring, and Gary's here with us this time. So it was pretty neat to win one for Gary and Channel Lock. I tell you, this people are super. They've supported us and been with us now for a while, and nothing like winning. I don't care, win's a win.
Hey, I tell you what, how does this get you ready for tomorrow night, huh?
Well, it sure can't hurt us. I tell you, the guys had good pit stops tonight and all, and you know, kind of found out what the track does from the daytime to the nighttime, and that'll definitely help us for tomorrow night.
All right, well, congratulations, Steve. Celebrate the victory. Now let's go to the second place finisher, Jeff Green, who's standing by with Kyle Petty.
Well, I'm standing here at the gas pump. They filled his car up with gas, take it through inspection. Just filling up with Gatorade right here. But you had a great run. Hey, it's hard to believe that you can run that car here at Bristol and not get any more dents or scratches in than that. I've never seen the 3 car look that good after a race. You got into one little scrape down there in 1 and 2 with Chad when he cut back across in front of you a little bit. But other than that, it was a pretty decent deal for you.
It was. Tony and these guys, they worked their tail off this afternoon to get this car working right. Still a little loose at first, and we come in, got in with Kenny there, got spun out, but that paid off for us. Got in, got some tires, got it tightened up, and that gave us track position. So, Good Ranch and Food City, they sponsored this race here tonight. I was really wanting to win it for them tonight, but our day's coming.
It's definitely coming. I can tell you that. Dale Earnhardt wouldn't have put him in the seat if he didn't think so. Bill Weber?
Okay, I'm here with Chad Little. What a wild night you had out there, but you still came home fourth.
I am just wore out, you know. I don't know how the Cup guys can go 500 laps here, I swear. You know, I'm young, too. I'm just wore out. We had a decent day. We had to work hard, and you know, we had a little mishap at the start of the race there, and then right rear tire equalized, and then we had to change it, and that got us behind, and then, you know, I got spun out, and
probably all the way
got in the wall.
Clyde McLeod just walked in the back room.
You know, it was a really great day for Harris Teeter and Bear, and especially the guys on the team who worked really hard for this, and I mean, just shows it is a good team. want to say hi to Greg and Mark. They're back home, and Tracy, and I mean, I'm happy. I'm just really tired right now.
Yeah, but if I go over there and find you a ride for tomorrow, you'll probably be happy to go 500 laps.
Well, you got to let me know here before I go home, because if you don't, I might be busy by the pool tomorrow.
Okay, that's Chad Little.
Chad Little able to sacrifice or basically come home in a top 5 finish, finishes 4th. Hey, remember Top Rank Boxing coming up next from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I can recap this slugfest in a moment. Our Speed World coverage of the Food City 250 has been brought to you by Pep Boys. For quality parts, accessories, and service, come to Pep Boys, America's automotive supercenter. By Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. And by Taco Bell, tacos.
I wonder if I could do the cup one.
And a whole lot more.
Let me search for that one.
Take a look at our post-race recap. Our winner, Steve Grissom, led 23 of 250 laps. There were 5 lead changes, 7 caution flags for a total of 38 laps, and the average speed, 87.234 miles per hour. Some post-race notes for you. Take a look. Johnny Benson led the most laps, but folks, that trouble late in the race cost him a good finish. He will finish in 12th position. Steve Grissom made a big move, 32nd to 28th. Jeff Fuller, highest finishing rookie in 10th, and 11th win for Chevy this season. Let's check in with the guy who finished in 3rd spot.
A great run for Tim Feeder.
My dad will start going to that team more too as well, with Fuller in 96.
Behind you, Tim Feeder.
Yeah, we got all the Dynamark people here. It's their first ride with us in the 55 car, and we're happy to have them with us. They're going to be with us a couple more times this year, and you know, it was a good run for the whole DR team. We had a good car all day, and we knew it, but we didn't think we had a winning car, but it just kept chugging along, and had good tire, good pit stop, and real happy for us, you know. Little Joe's Autos and Race Scan, Ford really run good today.
Do you have any really close calls out there tonight?
Yeah, we had a couple, you know. I think everybody here that raced tonight had a couple close calls. This is Bristol, but, you know, like I said, you either have a good day or a bad day here, and we had a good day finally.
Hey, we even had some close calls down here in the pits. Let me tell you about that. Now let's go hear from Johnny Benson, the points leader, who's standing by with Bill Weber.
And he came home 12th. He lost 33 points to Chad tonight. You're ahead by 29. Your reflections on this fun evening here at Bristol?
Well, it's pretty exciting anyways. Lipton T Monte Carlo, I'll tell you what, I don't think there's anything here that could have beat it, but one of them deals, I just got ran a little high coming off 2 and got a flat.
And then you did have the tire going down, and obviously fuel was going to be a question for you down the stretch.
Well, I don't know. We could have made it down to fuel. We had to pro brake on overfill cam, but we got enough gas in, I believe. And, you know, like I say, Base Motorsports team did a good job. There ain't anybody going to touch us, but it's one of them deals. And I knew it. I mean, I could feel it starting to get a bad push. I says, man, that can't be happening. We can't be having the tire go down. And sure enough, it did. But we kept it off the wall, so 12th, I guess, is better than wrecking it.
Okay, Johnny Benson comes home 12th. He's still the Busch Series Grand National Division points leader, guys.
And he could have lost a lot more. Remember, Speed Week coming up later tonight, 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll have all the action with Bob Jenkins. That's fastest half hour in television. When we come back, we'll look at the full field rundown, as well as the updated Busch Grand National Series point standings. Johnny Benson still leads, but by a scant 29 points.
I'm going to run the cup race after. We got cup qualifying and the cup race.
National Raceway, the Food City 250 is history. Steve Grissom has picked up his second win of the 1995 season, sweeping.
So my dad had something to do with that win. That's good.
Tim Fiedel and Chad Little lead the Ford contingent in 3rd and 4th, and Terry Labonte finished.
My husband's team didn't do so well. They were Spencer. Well, 9th. That's not bad.
Houston from 32nd.
Fuller in 10th, which is cool.
Hickory native in 7th. Kevin LePage from 17th spot in 8th. Jimmy Spencer coming from 2 laps down. Boy, what a run he had tonight, finishing in 9th. And Jeff Fuller, leading rookie contender, finishes 10th.
Bobby Dotter, Johnny Benson salvages a 12th place. Phil Parsons, Stevie Reeves, our pole sitter, finishes 14th. And rocking Rodney Combs, after the damage that he had, finishes 15th.
Good finish there for him.
20th, Jason Keller, after having to make a green flag pit stop, lost a couple of laps. Mike Wallace also made a green flag pit stop, finishes 17th. Tracy Leslie, 18th. Hermie Sadler's car comes home 19th with Johnny Rumley at the wheel, and Brad Teague came home in 20th.
21 through 25, Mike McLaughlin, Randy LaJoy, Buckshot Jones, Joe Bessie, and Dennis Setzer finishes 25th.
Now we'll go back 26 through 30 when we find Elton Sawyer. He and Mike McLaughlin met here at the start-finish line. Robbie Reiser, Curtis Markham, Larry Pearson, we saw his crash, and also Kenny Wallace finishes 30th.
And 31st through 35th, Patty Moise, Rick Wilson, Jim Bowen, Ed Barrier, and Johnny Runner.
And rounding out the field, 36, Doug Hevron, who broke that ankle a week ago in practice up at Michigan. Doug able to make it home in 36th spot. Now, we promised you would look at the point standings, and we will. But meanwhile, here's a guy who had a good run tonight standing by. John Kernan.
Hey, he finished 5th, but in the Winston Cup race for tomorrow night, the Goodies 500 starting on the outside of the front row with Terry Labonte, and you look really fresh for a guy who's been at it since, what, the wee morning hours?
This morning. It's been a long day, but I'll tell you what, our MW1 Chevrolet ran pretty good tonight. We're a little bit too tight there, and I guess we wore out the front tires at the end of the race there, but it was still a good run for us, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah, I thought you had the pole there until Mark knocked you off, huh?
Well, you know, we were the first car out there, and I didn't know if that was going to be good or not. Sometimes the track gets a little bit quicker. I knew Mark was going to be tough. Him and I were about the two fastest in practice there, and, he got us, but that's the way it goes.
All right, well, go get some rest. Congratulations on a good finish tonight, Terry.
Thank you.
All right, Terry Labonte, let's go to Bill.
Okay, and I'm here with David Green, who came home 6th. A good run for you, a wild night as well.
Yeah, Bill, it was good to finish one, and we were setting real good and had a chain reaction over here and got turned around, so we had to go to the back. But, Beecher there at the shop finally got us some engines going. Terry's got one, and I've got one that he's worked on a little bit, and we took that gear out of it like we talked and might have went a little too far, but my car was really good, and it's good to finish one again. But we were okay, but you know how Bristol is. You get one little inch out of shape, and I got rear-ended a little bit, but it's a good night.
Obviously, you guys are looking for some momentum. You really want to salvage the season here.
Just about anything, and the way qualifying went, I was really disappointed. I'm glad for Stevie and Ed Whitaker and all that whole bunch, but about my luck, Stevie pulled off a heck of a lap, and I can't even win the pole no more. So that's a good night, and Bristol's tough, and we just are gradually getting back on this V8 thing. It requires a little bit of different setup, and I'm not sharp enough yet to tell them what I need, but we're working on it.
David Green comes home 6th. Let's go to Kyle Petty.
Well, I'm sitting here with Mike McLaughlin. They used you for a ping pong ball out there 2 or 3 times. Like you said, you missed a couple of wrecks, but that 00 car, we watched you from pit road, and he had you sideways 4 or 5 laps before he ever turned you all the way around.
Yeah, it's a tough racetrack. You need patience, and some people just don't have patience, and you can get in trouble in a big hurry, and that's what happened to us.
Well, that's why I tell you what, that happened a lot tonight, and I'm sure it's going to happen a lot tomorrow. John Kernan?
Well, I'm standing by with the 7th-place finisher, Tommy Houston, the last car in the lead lap. Tommy, I tell you what, Benny's all the time talking about the old guys running well, and you had a really good run tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty good, especially starting 32nd in the field. And, I was just patient, come on up through there and kind of riding along with Terry Labonte and David Green, some of those guys. And, Red Devil Ford Thunderbird, he come out there pretty good. So it was fast, just got pushing real bad. I think everybody did.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. That's a 7th-place finish for Tommy Houston, Jerry.
Good run for Tommy and for the old guys. Let's hear it for the old guys. Now let's take a look at the point standings. Johnny Benson just 29 points over Chad Little. Hey, Jeff Green makes a big jump from 5th to 3rd. Considering that runner-up finish tonight, Mike McLaughlin is in there at 4th spot, and Jason Keller loses a couple of spots by virtue of his finish tonight. He's currently in.
I have the next race on deck. It's qualifying.
Larry Pearson, Tim Fedewa, Bobby Dodd
from Bristol.
Jeff Fuller moves up to the 10th spot.
Top 10 in points.
Top 10 is good for a rookie.
Of course, there are 6 races left in Busch Series competition, including the Gatorade 200 coming up next week at Darlington, and we will be there. But how about Racing's lineup coming up later, tomorrow, I should say. 11 a.m. Eastern Time, NASCAR today. And, of course, NASCAR today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. And then live flag-to-flag coverage of the Goodies 500 from right here at Bristol International Raceway. Mark Martin, how about what a brand-new qualifying track record. He will start alongside Terry Labonte.
By the way, now, that's not the same show. That's 2 entire different shows tomorrow. One at 11 o'clock and another new show at 7 o'clock.
And don't forget, coming up next from Bally's Park Place in Atlantic City, New Jersey, the NABA Championship. Alex Zolkin takes on Everton Davis. Top-ranked boxing. We had a...
I will close out that one. There's me at Talladega with Bobby Labonte's scorer named Lori. We used to ride together a lot to the local stuff. And here we go. This is qualifying for the Cup race for Bristol.
We call this place. It's banked 36 degrees, and we're here to qualify for tomorrow's night's goodies 500. That's right. 1 lap, 2 laps around this racetrack, the fastest, and they got to do.
Oh, thanks, Pop.
And that's what you'll see for the next hours trying to qualify for tomorrow's night race. At 7:30 on ESPN Classic, you'll see the Busch Grand National Series, 250 laps, 36 cars. Not a mile thunder, but
that's the one we just watched.
Cars around this racetrack. But right now,
that's my dad right behind him. Right.
Well, Benny, you get a good look.
Damn.
They've been sitting here watching these guys.
That was my dad back there.
They're getting set to see them run their fastest laps.
I was just like, whoa, wait a minute.
This afternoon, he says, hey, I'll go out there and run as hard as I can and only turn a 1560, 1565. But I strap in for qualifying. I go out there. It's worth 2 to 3 tenths of a second. And Jeff says, I have no idea how I'm able to do that.
Hey, John, I know how to do that. During practice, they breathe. In qualifying, they hold their breath for 15.
There's a hum on Benny's mic.
Best seat in the house, Jerry Punch and Ned Jarrett.
Hey, thanks a lot, BP. We are up here. What a great seat we're going to have and a great seat you're going to have for qualifying. And just like the race here, everything happens in a hurry on the high banks at Bristol.
Boy, it does happen in a hurry here. And going around here as fast as they do, they can't make a mistake. Just one little slip can cost them 1 or 2 tenths of a second. And only about 2 tenths of a second will separate first and 20th tonight.
3 out of the last 4 races have been won from the pole. We talk about track position. Not going to be important tonight. If you make the field, that's what's critical tonight, because 43 cars are set for the Battle of Bristol. And remember, you can't win the race if you don't qualify.
You can have a real good sponsor.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one because it's going to make me, like, get a copyright. Like, Anytime they have country music, there's copyrights. Look at that. Watermelon helmets. Way before the Chastain Day. Oh, that hurt. Look at who's in the winner's circle. Oh my goodness. Broken wrist. Allison team. He's a little boy.
We welcome you live to Bristol International Raceway, and it's called Thunder Valley because they're going to thunder on the high banks tonight. Winston Cup Busch Pole qualifying. Round number 22 of 31 events on the $38 million Winston Cup Tour. Great crowd on hand.
So if Dad was helping Grissom, if he's in this race with the Meineke car, he's probably helping him here too, as well as... That's why I was surprised to see him. So he's helping Grissom again at the Cup race
for
Gary Bichtel.
It'll try to make it to the field. 32 by virtue of qualifying.
They won the Busch race.
And 4 provisional starters. That's Terry Labonte.
And they're going out second.
30. Rich Bickle will be going in 30th.
Spencer is in Travis Carter's car, so my ex isn't helping him on that. But it looks like my dad's there with Grissom as well.
The tone for the qualifying here.
As, you know, the Busch race and the Cup, because I actually could see him standing by the car, so.
Here in the spring, and Dale Jarrett.
He's chit-chatting anyway, input.
Quick in practice. Here's Terry Labonte taking the white flag.
First lap, 15.392.
15.3.
Speed 124.662 miles per hour for Labonte. Remember, in the short track qualifying, they get 2 laps, 2 consecutive laps of qualifying. A little bit slower second time by 15.611. So we'll take his first lap at 15.392 seconds.
Jerry, that's a new event record.
So Fina is on that car. If it's a Moroso car, my ex is there. I doubt it. This is the car. I remember the Meineke sponsorship.
Number 29, Steve Grissom. With Meineke Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Same car, he finished 6th.
Remember the merch. Remember Dad's jacket.
And making the event record of 15:45 set last August by Harry Gant. Now we have a new event qualifying record.
Yeah.
Good lap for Steve Grissom on his first lap.
15.596. 123.032 miles per hour for Grissom.
And that equals the best practice lap.
Yeah, Terry had a gorgeous car. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Some of these don't do this, but some do.
Mark Martin returned about 15:60.
A little bit slower second time by 15.718 seconds, so his first lap will stand.
Now, folks, if you were with us
last
week during qualifying for the Goodwrench 400 there, they only get one lap on
15.3
longer, but on short track
is a pole. 15.59
raceway, so they get 2 laps.
2/10.
And the only exception to that rule are Talladega, Daytona, and Charlotte, where they give the drivers 2 laps on the super speedways.
Good old DW.
The drivers feel like they need that time.
One of the best paints
Plates at Talladega and Daytona.
of the day, I think.
For a second lap to make it a little more consistent.
Definitely a top
heat
10
performance.
DW, what's the winningest driver on this racetrack?
12 victories here at Bristol International Raceway and 4 pole positions. The winningest active driver when it comes to starting on the inside front row. Not a bad effort for DW. 15.689 seconds. 122.302 miles per hour.
Picked it up a little bit on his second lap.
Down to 15.594 makes him second quickest thus far in qualifying. Let's go down to Benny Parsons.
Hey, track record. What about that?
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
Event record anyway.
Okay, event record. Hey, our Kellogg Chevy was fast in practice. You don't ever know about qualifying because it cools off, the track gets a little quicker. That was a good lap for us, but there's some other guys that are pretty quick, too.
I told those guys that you'd have to hold your breath. Did you breathe during that qualifying run?
Not the first lap, I did the second lap.
That's why you slowed down, see?
That's right.
Okay, folks.
That's Terry Labonte down visiting with Benny Parsons, and as you heard Ned say, that's a new event record. Breaking the record set by Harry Gant last August. Here is Brett Bodine's Lowe's Ford Thunderbird. Junior Johnson-owned car.
Had an engine problem this afternoon in practice, Jerry, so they had to install another engine, but he has a pretty good lap on his first time around.
15.674 seconds makes him 4th quickest. A little over 122.4 miles.
Bristol qualifying.
Time by Ned.
A little bit slower.
15.676, so 0.02 of a second slower. Very consistent laps by Brett Bodine. See that pole speed on your screen, 124.662. That is Terry Labonte. And Ned, you hit it on the head. You nailed it. You said Labonte was going to set the time for everyone to beat, and indeed he has thus far in qualifying.
And you know, sometimes it's good to get that fast lap in early. Others sometimes might try a little bit too hard and not do as well. You can definitely overdrive this track as you can most of them, except for Daytona and Talladega.
Mike Wallace trying to qualify. Jimmy Dunleavy owns Holly Myers' Ford Thunderbird.
Pretty good lap for Mike Wallace on his first lap.
15.627 seconds for Mike Wallace makes him 4th quickest. Remember, 2 consecutive laps, green flag first, then the white flag, and now the checkered flag waves for Mike Wallace.
A little slower the second time.
Drops back to 15.742 seconds. So his first lap at 15.627. 122.787 miles per hour will be the lap we take for Mike Wallace, which will put him in 4th spot of the 5 cars that have qualified.
Next car out is Derek Cope in the Bobby Allison Motorsports.
Yep, Bobby Allison's car.
Go to the pits with Benny.
DW, that's pretty good for an old guy like you.
Hey, I'm gassing her up pretty good, man. Been running real well, and of course, you know, if I don't run good here, everybody gets real down on me.
Hey, this is your racetrack. Has been for a long time, right?
You know, last time we won here, we qualified in the top 10, and we won the race. So hopefully tonight, maybe we can hang in the top 10, and that'd be a good omen for us. It's been 3 years, man.
How many was it you won in a row here that time?
7 in a row.
7 in a row.
You know, we hear people talk about they finish here consistently. Finishing one thing, but winning 7 in a row, I don't guess I'll ever get over that.
Even as old as he is, he remembers that, guys.
That's DW, but Derek Cope, second quickest car in qualifying thus far, 15.524 seconds. It is Labonte and Cope with Rusty coming up. Back in a moment.
All right, the FINA car went out.
Raceway,
I wonder who was in it.
And the driver who won this race a year ago, the Goodies 500, pulls away. Rusty Wallace, the Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird, a 5-time winner at this extremely demanding high-banked oval. His only win in the Goodies 500 was coming last August when he held off a charge from a couple other cars, Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt, to win the event. Thus far, our quickest qualifier, Terry Labonte, 15.392 seconds. He is quick. Eric Cope is second, Darrell Walter third, Steve Grissom fourth, and Mike Wallace is fifth, with Brett Bodine in sixth spot. Here is Rusty.
Rusty with what I believe is second fastest time. Let's see. Yes, it is. 15.476.
His speed 123.986 miles per hour, first time by. That's a pole speed on top, and Rusty's speed on the bottom. Can he beat it?
Nope, slower the second time around.
15.597 seconds. So we'll take his first lap at 15.476, 123.98. So that'll put him on the outside front row thus far in qualifying, as 7 cars have taken the green flag.
This next car is Joe Rutten, number 95.
After 10 cars qualify, I'll see where Steve Grissom is. I think he's 5th right now.
Ernie Irvin, driving Ernie Irvin.
And then you just multiply it by 4, and you basically figure out he will qualify about there. That's how I used to figure it in my mind anyway.
First time by for Ruttman. The Shoney's in forward, 15.721 seconds.
Bad lap. 8th fastest that they qualified, but that still is not a bad lap.
So I suspect he will qualify around 20th or better.
That's about the same, Gary.
Almost identical, about 400 slower, 15.764 seconds.
That's how we used to figure it, like to kind of know if you're going to make the show or not.
72 and 122.053 miles per hour. That puts him 8th among 8 cars who have qualified. Talking about qualifying well, here's Benny Parsons.
Hey, Rusty, you won this maybe last year. Pretty good run, 47, second right now.
Well, I'm pretty happy with it. It's handling real good. I've been a little slow this morning, like I slower than I thought I should. I've been like 3rd and 4th quick all day long. Everybody wants to be the fastest car, but I don't know what it is. It's going to race real good, I know, though.
You think it's going to race good?
No, I don't think I know it will.
Okay, he knows it, guys.
He's confident, has a lot of confidence.
That's something Rusty doesn't lack, his confidence. Hello, Jimmy Hensley.
I was trying to figure out who that car was.
Yeah, folks, get out your program now. Got some driver changes this week, a little bit different from last week. Jimmy Hensley back into 32 was ended a little bit earlier this year. Some driver changes this week. Greg Sachs had driven this car a few times.
Hensley's first lap, 15.830 seconds, is quicker than his second lap.
95, 96, 97, NASCAR just blew up, and it was like so competitive.
9th quickest.
Everyone wanted your job.
That have qualified. And take a look now. Hensley's in the 22 car.
And musical cars.
Now Ward goes to the 22. And where does Sachs go? He went to the 31 car, although David Green practiced the car today. Jimmy Hensley shuffles down to the 32 car.
Getting a little stiff. I might have to walk around a minute.
So, anyway, here's a guy who hadn't gone anywhere and is not going anywhere. Michael Waltrip, the Pennzoil Pontiac.
He had some pretty good practice laps this afternoon, too, Jerry. And he just turned a good lap here right now. He's going to be close.
Michael very close. Good qualifying effort. 15.438 seconds, second quickest. This is the car that he finished 3rd in the Charlotte World 600 back in May. One of his favorite race cars, Pontiac Grand Prix. Second lap.
A little slower.
A little bit slower, 15.589 seconds. So, hey, not a bad first lap, though. 15.438, 124.291 miles per hour. And Mikey's going to be smiling when he sees old BP here in a moment. Right now,
wow.
On the outside, front row, next to Terry Labonte.
Okay, here's one of those drivers that we're talking
about. Big brother.
Switch rides this week.
Oh, wow. Greg Sachs. I didn't know he drove that car.
David Green, current Busch Series.
Greg goes to coffee with the racers on Mondays sometimes, too. He's retired in Florida.
Racetrack about 2 o'clock. Got some practice laps in, so hasn't had a lot of time to get karting several hours.
Have the slowest time of those qualified so far. Yes.
Greg Sachs did a lot of stunt driving for Days of Thunder.
Laps in the race car, 15.915 seconds.
When he was with the Valvoline Dingman Brothers car, I believe.
Picks it up some on the second lap here.
A little bit quicker, 15.857. So that's the lap of record for Sachs. 121.006 miles per hour. He still will be 11th among 11 cars that have qualified.
Car number 31 has no provisionals left. Provisionals rules that are awarded by NASCAR that car has used itself. Now, here's a guy also that ran fast this afternoon.
Good old Ted.
That's great. Family Channel 4.
Jack Roush showing the sheet.
You hear Sim in the background. My son's racing.
Musgrave currently 5th in the point standings, having a great.
He likes running Road America, the Grady Sixes.
Not a surprise.
I gotta get a monster. I'm thirsty.
15.517 second lap. That puts him 4th quickest, but the car got real loose.
Yeah, he got high up here in turns 3 and 4 too, so this next lap is not going to be too good.
As you predicted, Ned, a little bit slower by 0.4 of a second, 15.979 seconds. So his first lap at 123.658 miles per hour, good enough to put Ted Musgrave in the outside of row 2. Terry Labonte, our quickest qualifier. Michael Waltrip outside row 1 in just a moment. We'll be back.
Yo, those are nice. Hold on one second.
Candace, what's up? I think my daughter's going pro at basketball.
She's 3.
Yeah, she's 3. What's your point?
I'll take those.
Wait, you're at Dick's? Could you pick up an agility ladder for my daughter?
One second.
Candace.
Yo, Don, what are you doing?
Oh, you're at Dick's?
Back at Bristol International Raceway, there's your top qualifiers thus far. 12 cars having taken time. We will take the top 20 in this round 1 of qualifying. Remember, only 32 cars will make it into the field by virtue of qualifying speeds, 4 by virtue of provisional positions in the top 40 of the car owners' points.
And of course, those top 20 tonight get locked in. Ken Schrader trying to be one of those in the Bud Ford. Got a pretty good lap, not the quickest, but
15.663 for Schrader, first time by. That puts him 9th quickest. At pole speed is Terry Labonte. You see 15.392 seconds. Second lap for Schrader. He sure did, Ned, by about 0.04 of a second, 15.621 seconds, 122.835 miles per hour for Ken Schrader, and that will put him in 8th spot thus far in qualifying.
now, fans, if you wonder when I say I believe he picked it up, I'm standing here with my unofficial stopwatch and clocking them as they go around, too. Of course, we've got the electronic clocks here that gets them right down to the thousandths of a second.
And to watch Jeff Woodard get an attempt, let's check in with BP.
Hey, guys, the outside pole sitter, Michael, great lap.
Yeah, it was a good lap. I had to mentally be ready for this deal today. Earlier this year, we used a spot here. We used spots in Richmond and Martinsville, and we're 8th in the points, so we can't be using spots. We're about out, and we got to make the races to run up front and gather up some more points and try to get to the top 5. So when I got ready to go qualify, I asked God to help me, and I asked Buffy to help me, and the main people to help me with the crew. I mean, they had the car set up perfect. It just drove itself. All I had to do was hammer it. And Benny, I know how to hammer it. I can handle that part.
You got that part down hammer.
Yeah, and fortunately they gave me a good handling car, and I was able to hammer it. I wish I could have hammered a little harder, maybe beat Terry, but we're not complaining. I told Darrell all I wanted to do was when we walked over that 3rd turn bank, when qualifying was over tonight, I just wanted to know I had a time good enough to stand on tomorrow so I could sleep tonight. And people just don't understand what this is like in here, but only the strong survive, and I think my mental attitude along with the crew's preparation of the car gave us what we needed.
Attaboy, Michael, good run.
Thanks.
Michael Waltrip outside the front row. We might mention that qualifying just a moment ago, Jeff Bodine, 15.62, or in fact, Bodine's lap, 15.532 seconds, good enough for 6th quickest in the X-side court. Here's Jeremy Mayfield. First lap was 15.651, 122.599, and that is what lap will take. He slowed down second time by 15.711. So Mayfield continues a pretty good qualifying effort. He's 11th quickest right now. Once again qualifying in the top 10 at Michigan last week and finished 12th. Now, one driver who's already qualified and right now sits 4th is Ted Musgrave. He's with John Kernan.
Well, Ted, a lap of 123.658, a little over 15.5 seconds. Satisfied with that?
I'm pretty satisfied. That's the quickest we've been all day. I just got a little loose out there, and the second lap was even worse, so I just kind of backed off of it the second lap to save it. It's a good car. I've always run good here at Bristol, and I think the guys know what we need to do here. We got to get our good point standings up there and have a good clean race now. So that's a good start. Like I say, it's not a pole, but the finish here is like getting a pole and a win.
That's Ted Musgrave, currently 4th, Jerry.
15.6 15 cars have qualified. We'll be back with more qualifying after this. Back at Bristol International Raceway, here's Bobby Hillin in the US Air Jasper Engines Ford DK Ulrich on machine. Hillin trying to get into one of 20 starting spots that will be settled tonight. As you heard Michael Waltrip say, Ned, drivers want to go home and sleep tonight knowing they are solidly in the field.
Qualifying for a Winston Cup race on the short track is the most pressure-packed situation that they have all year long.
First lap for Bobby Hillin, 15.880 seconds, 120.831. That'll put him 16th quickest.
I picked it up a little bit on the second lap.
Slightly, 15.840 seconds, 121.136 miles per hour, and that will place Hillin in 15th spot, 15th out of 16 cars that have qualified. Once again, Terry Labonte, the fastest car in qualifying thus far, 15.392 seconds. An event record, breaking the record set back last August by Harry Gant. There's the top qualifiers, 15. The one you don't see, 16th spot is Greg Sachs. As Bobby Hillin has moved into the 15th position. On the speedway, car number 23, Smokin' Joe's machine. Travis Carter racing for Jimmy Spencer.
Good lap for him in his first lap. One step for the pole, but puts him up there in the
10th spot, 15.621 for Spencer. Trying to pick it up slightly, get up in the top 7 or 8.
Slid her down in the second lap.
Lost about 2.5 tenths, 15.870 seconds. Spencer's lap, 120.907. So his first lap at 122.835, good enough to put him in the top 10 at 10th position. In fact, exactly the same speed that Ken Schrader has run, 15.621 seconds. The speed and time are identical, but Schrader ran first, so he will currently be shown at 9th and Spencer 10th.
The driver that's higher in the point standings gets the positions that they tie in qualifying. In years past, the drivers went out first in terms of time, but now they go according to the point standings.
And Ken Schrader is 15th in the points overall, ahead of Spencer. So, Motorcraft Quality Care Machine, Ford Thunderbird. Bud Moore prepared car, own machine, Dick Trickle.
15.690 his first lap.
122.294 miles per hour for Trickle.
Second lap is very close to that also.
15.720, slightly slower, so we'll take his first lap at 15.69. 122.294 for Trickle, and he will be posted in the 14th spot thus far in qualifying. 18 cars have run. 43 are in line for qualifying. Remember, we only take 20 tonight. Final round of qualifying starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Here's Todd Bodine, Factory Stores Ford Thunderbird. And as you watch Todd run, John's with his older brother.
Currently 6th right now, Jeff Bodine. Last week at Michigan, you guys told me that it couldn't wait to get here to Bristol. Is that true?
Love this little track. A little warm right now, but no, we love this race, especially the night race. It's so pretty, and folks come out here and just fill this place up. They keep building grandstands. They need more. Can't build enough, but we're looking forward to it. The Excise Ford is running good. That's a pretty good qualifying effort. Still, we're disappointed because we'd like to be the fastest. We need a Busch pole this year. We'll keep working at it. We're getting closer. We're going to get one, but the race should be really fun and exciting. They always are here. Yeah, I can second that, Jerry, very much.
And his brother qualified in 18th spot, 15.854 seconds, 121.029 miles per hour.
And that was on his first lap, Terry. He really got loose on his second lap, Todd Bodine did.
And here's John Andretti. What a run he had going last week at Michigan after a great qualifying effort. Was running among the top 3 or 4 with 70 laps into the race, and suddenly the engine went away. The Kmart Little Caesars Ford Thunderbird. Grandpa's Haas Racing Team, Tim Brewer, the crew chief.
Hello, I'm back.
First lap, 15.79.
I've been watching from the other side of the room. I was talking to my son. He just finished P5 in a GR86 race at Road America. He likes that car and that track.
Second lap, 15.956. His first lap will stand at 121.497 miles per hour, and that makes John Andretti 16th.
He's working on his road IR. It's about 2,300.
What's
His
joined us, Terry Labonte. At
Oval IR, I think it's more like 32.
And here is Kyle.
Been up to like 36, 38.
Pretty good laps of practice this afternoon. As you'll notice, fans.
Hey, Pops. Yeah, he likes road. I think his favorite road course, Road America and car combination, was the Nissan.
That's
the classic.
First lap is the fastest.
Endurance race he rode. He likes that.
15.681 first time by for the silver.
It's 2,300.
Pick it up next time by.
Yeah, I think you did. Pick it up a little bit.
Just a tad, 15.665, 122.
He's been racing all night.
Miles per hour, and Kyle Petty clocked
against a lot of people in Europe and all.
Pontiac, back with more live qualifying in a moment.
They go wheel to wheel. They're pretty aggressive at night.
Rick Mast on the speedway. Richard Jackson.
But they're pretty high IRs too. He was racing against 3s and 4s, even a 5.
This is the car he set on the pole with an Indianapolis motor.
But he's been pulling about top 5s all night.
Brickyard 400. They made it for a short track car here in 1995. First time by 15.60.
Yeah.
His speed 122.937 miles per hour.
Seat time. He said tracks he knows.
In the top 10, second lap.
He can race anything and with anybody. He don't have a problem. But any track he doesn't know, he gets his butt kicked, which means you got to drive and practice.
You're what, disappointed?
Practice.
That lap, you know, just straight out forward, a little bit.
Road racing's really big here in Florida. A lot of clubs.
Didn't want to get on the apron. I got in a little high and didn't quite get the lap. We were capable of being a little better than that, but good effort.
Mazda clubs and
hopefully we get the top 10 and a front stretch spot will be okay.
All right, they hope for a top 10 spot. Back in April, they finished 13th in the race here, Jerry.
They were awfully quick in practice, John, and they currently sit in 5th position.
Like in real life.
Shepard, Sitco.
They do a lot of car stuff around here. Now, they just built the coffee shop in the dead middle of the plaza up here at my gas station. Not my gas station, my grocery store.
You eat high protein. This
and
on right now is insane. Right now,
it's kind of a bummer because they used to have RC cars in the parking lot every weekend, and now that they built that, they don't. They used to have a really awesome car show every Wednesday at Woody's Barbecue. I think they still do, but now they have to go into the other part of the parking
and
lot
they're all made with 100% grass-fed beef,
because there's construction going on.
pork, and 100% grass-fed venison.
But Woody's is closed right now while they get construction going on, so I don't know. We went to eat at Woody's this weekend with Mom and Dad, and we ended up going to Chinese, which was just as good. Sorry about the ads. This one's probably because it's qualifying. I don't usually get ads with these playlists.
6.39, the second lap quicker. 122.693 for Shepard. Let's check in with Benny Parsons.
I also usually have premium, but
This guy is next to last, and this guy is third from last. 39.
we're being thrifty this month.
Terry's been real good all day, and I don't see anybody beat him.
You gonna beat him?
No, I just hope to run what I ran in practice. I'd be happy with that. If I don't slow down qualifying, I've accomplished something.
How'd you run in practice?
Like 58.
58, that probably won't get in the top 15 or 20.
We realize that now, but maybe the weather will change and maybe the track's picked up, so I can just...
Every year that they raise my rent,
Just don't breathe.
I've had to drop. I used to sub about 10 people a month. Can't do that no more.
You get around here real fast.
So the most I can do is Twitch watch you as much as I can.
Guys, back to you.
You got some deal going on, you want to get promoted, I'll promote ya.
Good run for Hud Strickland and the Kenny Nursing Home Quaker State Ford.
I used to have Twitch Prime, which
23.578 miles per hour.
Or what is it, Twitch Turbo. I used to have Twitch Turbo. I had to give that up in the budget.
He turned the lap of like 16.
Used to
I said Mark Martin had
always get $10 in bits and give him out Can't do that no more. And now the rent is fixing to raise in October again.
472.
Took all my fun money away, but I got a home over my head, roof over my head. That's important.
Can he do it?
No, he didn't do
It's important. Ow,
He did not. 15.50.
God, I'm so stiff and sore today.
15.472 seconds.
Remember, I went on the roof a week ago and cleaned up before we had that hurricane breeze on through.
John Andretti was bumped by Jeff.
Just graze us, thank goodness.
And have to try to.
And I need to get back up there now and bleach it. Like you saw, there was that algae up there, but it's been raining like every day.
Remember Terry the body, Michael Walton.
And I really want to use a spray bottle. I got one I'm going to use for the bleach so I can direct it where I want it.
Ricky Rudd.
Plus, if you saw me, I washed my camper all the way up to as high as I can reach. And there's like a foot,
Standing by with Rick Maston.
about that much, from the roof corner down the sidewall that I couldn't reach from the ground. So I either got to use my ladder or go up top and scrub it from the top.
Good, we're just not simply fast for a lap.
But
You know, sometimes
not gonna do all that in one day. I'm gonna just do the roof and the algae and all that first. And then I may wash the last foot from down below.
The circuit this year. You've been teaching him.
Mostly. Well, I got slide outs. This is a slide out behind me.
Yeah, you know, me and Robert, we work together a lot. You know, a lot of.
And it's hard to reach up over the slide out onto the surface of the wall,
Thing, you know what I mean?
which would be directly behind here. This is a
Probably closer to spin. Now Robert's doing good. He'll do good.
12-foot slide out, maybe, or 14. I think it's got two 14s
Stall there as he came by.
or two 12s. I don't know.
Four quicker the second time by 15.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3.
Robert Presley, 123.499 miles per hour. That
Yeah, it's two 12s.
we might mention that
Because we have a 31-foot
he is now
RV.
going in fifth position. Good run for Rudd in the Tide 4.
They walked in at ninth on his first lap, so the last two cars have run faster on their second lap than they did on the first lap. So that
Adulting 5 stars would not recommend.
Now here's a guy.
Adulting.
Remember, he won the Busch race here back last.
Ugh.
Had a great qualifying run in Michigan. Really getting it together with the Phil Marcotti team, Gil Martin, Kip McCord, and all the guys who are working so hard for Kenny Wallace. And his first lap is not a bad one, 15.762.
a little high.
For sure.
3 and 4.
Yeah,
Get him in the top 20. He'll have to pick it up.
because I live in an RV resort, it's like an Encore resort or whatever.
Kenny Wallace, not
They have to pay pretty big fees to Encore.
full qualifying continues.
Plus, half the residents have left because they raised the rent 3 years in a row, double what they claim to have. Well, not claim to have. Before I moved in, they said it would go up $30 a year, and it's gone up $60 a year. It'll be the
You know, we'll take it.
fourth increase
It's faster, a little bit faster than what we practiced.
for us
That's just a little bit faster, but
in 3 years because we moved in on a half a year contract and then a full year.
Mark's kind of the full cap.
We got to sign a new one coming up in October is when the new rate starts, so
That's what we need.
Now, about the race, though. You won
it'll
back in April.
stink
It's been, gosh,
for a
it's been
while.
9 years since somebody's won.
Gotta keep the budget. I thought about like trying to find maybe an RV park that was
So, you know,
less expensive or whatever, but
circumstances have to fall in line. I mean, when we were
then
here the last time,
what you give up
we're going to be here at
that is really hard to find is location.
trouble. Be there the last 100 laps.
We are located on the back
But,
of the park, on the far
Hey, what'd you call Martin the polecat? Is that what you said?
far row against the woods.
Standing by.
I can garden. I have wildlife out there.
They just called you a pole.
My animals are safe.
The polecat. You gonna sit on the pole?
It's shady. mean, it's beautiful under these oaks, but it takes more maintenance on me.
What my car does. We've done it before.
But
and we
weighing everything all together, I'm in
It's going out 40th and
I'm in an RV park that's next door to a state park that the nature trails just go. We basically rent this little lot, but we have use of like 100 acres to walk and boat and canoe and fish. And I mean, really, it's what I get for the money is really a good deal. In today's, it just is a lot for my budget. That's all.
All right, well, I don't think Jeff knew he meant that complimentary. I told him what a polecat was, Dustin.
But like I started thinking about it, I'm really getting a lot for the money.
I knew that.
It's still the least expensive option. It's cheaper than renting an apartment.
Good luck for the Kodiak Chevrolet driver. First time out of Craven, 15.478. That's quicker than a second lap of 15.575. So Craven.
And I don't know what the schedule is. I know sometime here in August.
Ward Burton in the car number 22.
There's some racing coming up here in Daytona. Well, I'm not in Daytona. I'm about 20 miles north of Daytona.
12th quickest at 123.
15 miles north, 20 minutes ish.
Mayfield was just bumped. Kyle Petty was bumped.
But we do have a lot here. That's my annual lot, and we do have one parking place if somebody needs to park a car and carpool or whatever. So that's an option. Just, you know, DM.
As Burton clocks in, and
if y'all like, I know parking at the track's wicked expensive, so we would put all our cars at my sister's house and carpool.
Second lap, a little bit slower.
Of course, another thing at stake here tonight, Jerry.
You also have that option if anyone's coming to Daytona and need to, you know, carpool and drop one of their vehicles. I have one parking place that's not being used.
Qualifies. So
here's the car number 71. Everyone wants to fit on the front stretch there, so you got an opportunity not to have to worry about where the paint car is and coming around and letting you in and out.
Actually, there are 19 pits, I believe, on the front instead of 18, as I said.
Right, there are 19 pits on the front.
Been looking for the
good God.
year to get these dental implants put in.
This is almost annoying, isn't it?
Winston Cup champion gets to pick first, and they go by.
I think they're only going to be doing this on the qualifying one. I don't know.
The Olive Garden Chevrolet.
Who has put this up?
Marcus does 15.7.
Oh, Michael doesn't usually have ads.
Just at the moment.
That's weird.
On the hot seat in 20th spot. Only top 20 get decided in this first round, and Marcus a little bit slower next time by very consistent lap, 15.721. That will not make it into the top 20.
His car doesn't sound right.
On the 20th spot as Texan Terry Labonte on the pole. A new event qualifier.
2440 in road?
3.92 seconds.
Wow.
This guy taking a shot at the pole. Good race, Chevrolet. 7-time Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt. An 8-time winner here at Bristol International.
You can do that too. I do tell everybody. I told Chief that. I tell you that. I told Jerry, Parker, y'all just need to get a Daytona vacation and stuff. Just let me know. Your family, you know, it's like, because lodging is so pricey. I don't have lodging, but I got a parking place. If you sleep in a minivan or something.
15.566 seconds.
Kind of hot though, you know, right now, but
15.496. Good enough to put the 7-time and reigning Winston Cup champion in 6th spot thus far in qualifying. Back in a moment.
it's a lovely little spot. And actually, the lot next door to mine's open right now, too. It's a big lot. It's kind of a double lot where they couldn't put a camper because of tree roots.
20 cars today.
They couldn't put a septic. I have full septic here, so they couldn't do that.
20 is Jimmy Spencer, actually.
Because of all the live oaks and the tree roots. So there is
Elton Sawyer did not
technically a little more parking beside my unit. Because nobody's next door and all that. The most that the park would charge if they bitched, it's in the contract that if we have guests overnight, it's $10 a person, but I've had guests and they've never charged.
Rudd finished 5th, and right now he sits 7th on the grid, and this is the exact same car, right, Ricky? So it must be a pretty good one.
Well, it is the same Tide Downey Ford, but it's been a little bit of changes made to the car, the chassis. We've been...
Welcome, shame on you. Thank you for chatting.
We just misjudged the racetrack cooling off, and the front end wouldn't quite turn like I wanted it to in qualifying. Left a little bit of speed on the racetrack, but we'll race real good.
All right, thank you very much, Ricky. Currently 7th, Jerry.
Good run for Rudd. Here's the guy that set on the pole and won.
Ricky Rudd. Okay, this is Bobby.
Victory of the year.
Only 22nd fastest at the moment. Bobby Labonte.
15.630 is first lap by. Not a good enough for...
If y'all like watching old races, I don't really put it out on my Discord or anything because I'm really dumb about that stuff.
It's a weak base.
I might put it on my YouTube that I'm going live, but I mean not YouTube, my Facebook.
Top 20, but different.
But the best thing is just hit the bell, notification bell on Twitch.
500.
And I try to, no matter what I'm doing, put it on iRacing because that's mainly my community.
Remember what?
Of people we know, because my son has raced the sim for about 4 years. So those are who we know.
The first lap will get him in there.
Grew up in auto racing. Modified New England was my roots from 60s to 70s. In the 80s, my dad went south in Cup, but in the 80s, we were racing our own street stock team. And from the 80s to the 90s, from 82 to 92, we ran our own late model team or street stock team, depending on what the rules were. At a track called Monadnock Speedway, and it's still running today. Claremont as well, we raced there, and we also raced at Claremont. Oh, Westboro, the one that closed.
Former winner here. He has one victory coming in the spring race back.
Then later on in the 90s, I moved south as well and worked as a team timing and scoring person in the booth. Back then they didn't have reliable electronics for transponder systems, so they hand scored every car. Each team had a hired scorer. So I got to do that for half the season in 96, the second half. 100 for Lake Speed, 039 in the 9 spam, and I also got to do the same for Jeff Bodine in the 7, the second half of 97. Other than a few times I've scored here and there for Joe Nemechek's family or Kenny Bouchard, or like I was asked to score for L.W. Miller.
With the hat, Jack on the right side of your screen.
At Hickory one race, things like that.
Forward, seeing what he can do.
He did it, Jerry.
So I have a pretty extensive background in racing. My dad was a chassis man, a setup guy, so I know about chassis theory, especially from owning our own street stock
per hour and a new
and late model.
Mark Martin, his second lap is slower, but who cares? His first lap was quick enough, 15.339 seconds, 125.093 miles per hour. And Mark Martin has swept the pole at Bristol International Raceway.
Pretty car.
Jerry, that's a new track record, isn't it?
Last time I counted, I had been to 56 tracks.
Brand new track record, breaking the record set by
in my life, in person.
So Terry Labonte broke the event.
And probably thousands of races.
Broke the track record.
And most of those races, after I was 16 years old, were in the infield, in the pit area.
Coming up on ESPN Classic. That's coming up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Classic now. Live racing action, Busch Grand National style. Joe Nemechek's first lap, 15.530. Second lap, 15.688. So we'll take his first lap at 123.
Mikey Borginger is the crew chief on that car that year.
Hey, that's pretty neat when all those people stand up and cheer, isn't it?
I didn't think they were cheering for me. I can't believe it. That Valvoline car's perfect tonight. I
hope one of these guys doesn't beat us. That'd be real nice. These guys deserve it. They put me in the best race cars on the racetrack every week, and they deserve to sit on the pole.
You know, Jeff Gordon said you might be the pole cat, and you are.
Well, it's not over yet, Benny.
Okay, let's see what the 28 does. Tell me, Jerry, what did he do?
Okay,
No.
Benny.
He didn't beat him, did he? That's for sure.
15, 55, 7, 8. So not.
Incredible, isn't it?
How old was I in the pictures?
Bundle with Progressive, you're free to just.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully this works. See if it works. Oh, you're welcome. The raid has been created. Does that mean I'm going there? God, I don't know. Am I going there? I don't know. Guys, I'm on a little bit of a different setup. I've got to maybe I got to call it if the group, because I don't look like I'm raiding. Let's see. No, it's not working. It went through, but I don't know. But thank you so much for the follow. I do this a few times a week, and I'm glad that you followed with me. I gotta figure out how to raid out. I did the command, but it's not going anywhere. The raid had been created. But anyway, it doesn't put you there. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for coming by. And I will click exit and stop streaming. Peace. See you at the races, guys.